Rihilom. Hello, Vin. Good evening.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, okay. So it's nice to see you tonight, Vin. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. So you look fresh. Did you take a bath?
Yes, I just take a bath.
Okay. So when do you always do that? You take a bath every evening?
Yes, I always take a bath every evening.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So this time, Vin, we are going to continue in our class. Okay, I think this is we are still in the reading part, a practice test for your reading skill. Okay, we're done with this one, right? Is that right, Vin?
Right.
Okay, so what about this?
Yes.
Are we done with part 3 also? Okay, so
Yes.
we're done with part 3. What about this one, Norwich? I think done. Okay, so part 4, I think we're not yet done with part 4.
Uh,
Are we?
now which we done to? Okay.
What
Want to
about
check?
part 4? This one, part 4. Are we done with?
Yes, done this.
Okay, so what about part 5? Are we done with part 5? Oops. Okay, so I think
Yes,
this
we done
time
it too.
we're done with part 5. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. So this time, let me check what unit do we need to continue. Okay, since we're done with, so we're done with the readings. So wait me a bit. Let me check first the DLP. Ang tadakma 040 test 3 done. Okay, so for tonight, Vin, we're going to proceed with test 3. Okay, so test 3, it's all about writing. Tonight, it's all about writing. Okay, so you are expected to write a message or whatever is asked you in this unit. Okay. Can you see my screen, Vin?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just wait for this one. Oh, why is it stopped? Okay, let me share this one slideshow. Okay, so welcome to my class again, Vin. It's me, Teacher AM again. And for tonight, we're going to proceed with part 1. Okay, so this is a practice test for your writing skill. Okay, can you see the screen clearly, Vin? Can you see
Yes, I
this?
see it clearly now.
Very good. Okay, so here in part 1, there are 5 questions. And for every questions, here are some sentences about going to the cinema. For each question, you're going to complete the second sentence so that it means the same as the first. You use no more than 3 words. Then you write only the missing words on your answer sheet. Okay, so this is an example. Can you please read the example, Vin? Dave
I
and
can't
Jane.
see the example yet.
Okay. So I think it's the internet. Okay. Dave and Jane have been to the cinema together. Okay. So the correct answer, if you're going to rewrite this one, is Dave has been to the cinema with Jane. Okay, so do you got it?
Ooh. Yes, I got it.
Okay, what about the screen? Can you see the example?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's how to approach this task. Okay, first you read the first sentence and you think about its meaning. So what is the meaning with the first sentence? Just like the example, um, this one, Dave and Jane have been to the cinema together. Dave has been to the cinema with Jane. Okay, so that is the meaning of the first sentence. Then second, you
Yeah.
read the second sentence, then look at
Your PowerPoint is slower than talk like when you talk about the example that I can not see the example yet. Like that.
okay. So I think it's the internet bin. Yeah. I think is your internet well?
Uh, is quite well.
It's quite well. Okay. So I will just talk slowly so that it will be fit together with my PowerPoint. Okay, so second, can you please read this one, Vin? That's how to approach this task, the number 2.
Read the second sentence. Look at which words are repeated from the first sentence and which words are different.
Okay, what about number 3? Look at the second sentence again and think about which phrases and structures could be used to complete it. Okay, for number 4, complete the second sentence using 1, 2, or 3 words. Then last, read both sentences again. Check if they have the same meaning. So this is how you approach the task bin. Okay, so let's proceed to the note the difference. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Kearns. Can I speak to Mary, please? She isn't here.
Teacher, I can
Yes?
see that yet.
You cannot see that yet. Okay, so let me try to enter using my phone bin to check my internet if it's working properly. Okay, Zoom. I can see it clearly, Vin. My internet is okay. I think it's your internet, Vin. Yeah, kindly look at this one. I can see the screen clearly. Can you see?
Oh, now I can see it.
Yeah, I think it's your internet, Vin, because here in my phone, it's very clear and vivid. Okay, so let me get out now in Zoom. Okay, so this time I want you to read the dialogue. Hello, Mrs.
Hello, Mr. Hello, Mr. Keynes. Can I speak to Mary, please? She isn't here. She's gone to the shops.
Okay.
Where have you been? I have been to the shop.
Okay, so this is Mrs. Kearns and this is Mary. Okay, kindly look at this one. They have gone to the cinema. So this means that they haven't come back yet. They are still at the cinema. That is the meaning of they have gone to the cinema. When you say she has been to London, this means that she has visited London. She is not there now. She has already come back. Do you get the meaning, Vin? So that is the difference
Yes.
when you use have gone to and has been to. When you say have gone, the person who go there has not yet come back or haven't come back yet. When you use has been to, this means that the person who've been to London is already back here. Okay, she just visited London. Okay, so that is the difference between have gone to and has been to. Do you got this one, Vin?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have any question to me about have gone to and has been?
No.
Okay, so to check if you really understand, Vin, what is the difference when you use have gone to and has been to?
And when we use have gone, that they doing something but they haven't done yet. There has been that they already do that.
Very good. They already do that one and they already come back to its original place. Okay, great job. So now, Vin, let's proceed with this one. So for numbers 1 to 5, it's now your turn to rewrite this one. Okay, so what will you do? You're going to read the first sentence. Then on the second sentence, this will be your turn to write your answer on the broken lines. Okay, so for
Teacher,
number,
I can't see that yet.
you cannot see that yet. Okay, let's just wait and just tell me if you see it already. I think we need to wait for about 1 minute
Okay.
or 2 minutes. What is your internet connection, Vin? Is it wired
Uh, what?
or what is your internet connection? Is it wireless or wired with wire?
That is wireless.
Oh, wireless. You mean modem or packet Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Okay. So that is that is why your internet connection is a bit low because you know the difference between packet Wi-Fi or modem to compared to wireless to wired internet connection. Wired is a little bit faster and it's not a bit lag. Yes, compared to packet Wi-Fi or modem. But you know, packet Wi-Fi is good, especially if you don't plan for any travel because you can if you plan to travel because you can bring it with you anywhere you want. Yes. Okay. So can you see the screen clearly now? Nearly every seat, numbers 1 to 5.
I see the screen clearly, but that is the one that have been and have gone.
Ooh, too bad. I already turned this one to numbers 1 to 5 in. Let me check again. Let me
Oh,
enter
teacher,
again.
I see.
Okay. So for number 1, nearly every seat was taken in the cinema. So what would be your second sentence if you rewrite this one?
It is there weren't any seats in the cinema.
Okay, can you please write your answer, Vin? Because this is a writing test for you.
I can drive because I can't turn on that. I turn on the thing that I can write on the screen. So I can just
Pardon, Vin,
turn
I
this
can't
one.
hear you clearly. You're a little bit choppy. What did you
I
say?
said that I cannot write it because I can't I can't turn on the thing that I can write on the screen.
Okay. So what would be your answer in number 1?
There weren't any seat in the cinema.
Okay, so let's check. There weren't many seats left in the cinema. Okay, or many seats in the cinema. What about number 2? Jane had a worse seat than Dave.
Dave had a better seat than Jane.
Okay, that is correct. What about number 3? Jane couldn't see the screen
Jane
very well.
found that hard to Jane found that hard to see the screen.
Okay, so it is Jane found it difficult to see the screen or found it hard to see the screen. What about number 4? Dave said that he had seen the film before.
Dave said, I have seen this film before.
Okay, let's check. I have already seen this film before. Dave said, I have already seen this film before. What about number 5? They spent 2 hours watching the film.
The film has long for 2 hours.
Okay, the film lasted for 2 hours. Okay, so here in this part, Vin, you got 2 out of 5. Okay, so better luck or try again on the second activity that we have. So here in part 2, okay, before we proceed with part 2, Vin, do you have any question to me?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, so let's proceed now in part 2. So here in part 2, there's 6 question. Okay. So when you say bonjour, this means salute or hello. Okay. You have recently moved to a town and have bought this postcard on the town to send your pen friend. Okay. So in your postcard, Vin, you should explain why you have moved and tell your friend what facilities the town has. Then lastly, you need to say what you dislike about living there. Okay, you can write 35 to 45 words on the screen. Can you write it on the screen, Vin, or not?
Not.
Okay, but can you write it when you type message in Zoom?
It's very relaxed.
What did you say, Vin?
I say it's very relaxed when I use the keyboard in the chat.
Okay. So what should we do here? Because this is a writing test for you in test 3. You need to write it. You need to write in this activity. Okay, so this will be the situation. You have recently moved to a town and have bought this postcard of the town to send to your pen friend. So in your postcard, you should explain why you have moved, the reason why you have moved. Then you need to tell your friend what facilities the town has. For example, they have bathroom. Okay, they have someone who will go to your room, then ask you what you need. Then you say what you dislike about living there. So you can write 35 to 45 words on our screen or send a message to me. You can take off your camera, Vin, if it's a little bit lag to reduce the lag while having class. Then you can begin to write.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hello, Vin. Are you now done?
Not yet.
Okay, Vin. Take your time.
Teacher, I'm done.
Can you please read your answer, Vin?
Uh, yeah. Okay. Hi. Sorry that I moved but not tell you any because I don't really like this town. I don't like this town because it's very cold and noisy at night, so I can't sleep. Secondly, the kitchen is very annoying, so I can work here.
Wow, very good. Because you started with a greeting, which is a hi. Okay. Then you explain why you have. Okay, let me check if you explained why you have moved. Okay, very good. You moved. Then what about the facilities? What
Okay.
are the facilities? Did you mention the facilities?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay, so that is okay, Vin. And what you dislike, very good, because you mentioned also what you dislike about leaving your old town. Very good. Okay, so for that, I'm going to give you 40 out of 50. Okay, so that is still a good score. So now, Vin, this would be your assessment. Okay, so now, what is this? This is just a sample answer. Okay, let me read this one for you. Hello, Joanna. How are you? I hope you're fine. I have moved recently to this town because we have more opportunities to have a better life. We can travel for everywhere by public transport, so faster as you can't imagine. And taxis are cheap too. If you want to see the town, you can buy a ticket for 1 day by bus and you could visit many monuments. The problem are the pickpockets. We have to be careful. Okay, so what is pickpockets?
Uh, pickpocket. That is the one who will steal things in your pocket.
Yes, that is correct. Someone who will steal things from you inside your pockets. They are bad persons. Okay, so that is just the suggested answer. Okay, anyway, your writing is still good because you end up with a period. Let me double check this one. And I like it because all the comma, and please take note, the only correction that I want to tell you is using I. When you use I, like I have moved but not tell you, okay, I should be a capital letter. It must be big. Okay, because you are referring to yourself. Okay, even if it's just in the middle of the sentence, you need to write this one in a big letter. That is just my observation in your writing. So now let's proceed here in part 3. You're going to write an answer to one of the questions from 7 or 8 in this part. You can write your answer in about 50 words on your in our chat box. You mark the question number in the box at the top of your answer sheet. Okay, so this is the assessment. Answers are assessed using the assessment
Cái này
scales,
lắc lắm.
which consists of 4 subscales:
Lắc lắm,
content,
bật là con nghe cô là nó
communicative
bị
achievement,
cắt liền.
Để ngày mai không
organization,
nghe được cái gì luôn.
and language. Okay. Candidates should aim to use a range of tenses, expressions, and vocabulary, even if these contain some minor mistakes. It is important also, Vin, that you will show the full range of your language ability and to be ambitious in your use of language. So non-impeding errors, this means it doesn't affect the communication, the language that you use, and will not be necessarily be penalized. This includes spelling, grammar, or punctuation errors. However, errors which interfere with or cause breakdown in communication will be treated severely. Okay. So this time, that is how you're going to be as you'll be assessed. For the content, I want you to read this one, Vin. What should be the content in your writing?
Mm, không có thành tên mình không cần.
Can you please read the content part, Vin?
Content focus on how well the candidates have fulfilled the task. In other words, if they have done what they are asked to do.
Okay, and for the communicative achievement, it focuses on how appropriate the writing is for the task and whether the candidate has used the appropriate register. Okay. And for the, wait me a bit, for the organization, it focuses on the way the student puts together the piece of writing. In other words, if it is logical and ordered. Then language, it should focus on vocabulary and grammar. This includes the range of language as well as how accurate it is. Okay, so this is part 3. This is how you're going to be score. Then this is part of a letter you received from an English friend. Can you please read the letter? I want.
Want to find out about music in the country? Are there many live concerts? What music do you like listening to?
Okay, so now Vin, you're going to answer this question. You write a letter answering your friend's question. You can write your letter in about 50 words, not 100, only 50 words on your answer sheet. Okay, so how to write an informal letter? It should have an address. When we say address, that is your address. For example, Teacher AM's address. This is Malaybalay City, Bukidnon. Then the date, when did you write the letter or when do you write the letter? For example, now, March 31, 2022. Then you should write dear, including the name of the person that you'd like to send the letter. We have the opening. Opening must include a greeting. Hello, hi, good day, like that. That is included in the opening. And for the body, that is the content of your letter. Then for the closing, you can say, thank you so much for reading my letter. Hope to see you soon. That is an example for closing. Then best. Okay, don't forget the best. This is still part of the closing together with your name and signature. Okay. For example, you can say, I am looking forward to seeing you. This is closing. I can't wait to see you soon. This is closing. I can't wait to hear from you. This can be body or closing. I am looking forward to hearing from you soon. This can be body or closing. See you soon. This is closing. Send my love to blah, blah, blah. This is content or body. I hope you're doing well. This is opening. Then give my regards to. This can be closing or content. Those are the things that you can use when you're writing an informal letter. Then we have best wishes, best, kindly, kind regards, best regards, lots of love and love. It is part of closing. Okay, so now Vin, um, this is a sample. Okay, so now you can write a letter in, let me, wait. Okay, this one. I want to find out about music in your country. Are there many live concerts? What music do you like listening to? Okay, so this is part 3. You can now write a letter answering your friend's question. Hello, Vin. Are you now done? Hello, Vin.
I'm not yet done, teacher.
Okay, so since our time is over, I will just leave it to you as your homework. Okay, and about your previous homework, are you done making it? Previous homework, the one that I gave to you last Saturday. I think I gave part 5 in our reading test as your homework last time. Let me check in the group chat, Vin. Ah, yes, I give it to you as your homework. Part 5 is your homework. Yes. Okay, so you have 2 homeworks that you haven't passed yet. The first one is the previous homework last Saturday. You can check Zalo about your homework last Saturday that I gave you. And the second homework is this one, the answer or writing. The answer to the question, are there many live concerts? Then what music do you like listening to? Okay, this will be your second homework. Do you got it, Vin? And if you're done, I think you can finish this one after 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You can directly send this homework, the one that I gave to you now, later in Zalo so that I can check directly. Is that okay with you, Vin? Yes? Hello, Vin. Hello, Vin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
said
so
that the problem is when I take a picture on iPad, it's very blur and no one can see it clearly. Yeah.
what about if you use your mom's cell phone to take a picture and send that one in Zalo? You can use your mom's account in Zalo because it
But
doesn't
my mom
matter.
is very busy and she won't give me my phone any reason. Any reason.
Okay. So you don't have any phone?
Yes.
Okay. So you can put your answer in your notebook or whatever you have, whatever resources you have. Then next meeting, you're going to read that one. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So thank you, Vin, because you explained to me your situation. Okay, so since it's already time, it's our time is already over. We will just end here formally. Thank you so much for your time and participating in our class. I hope to see you this Saturday. Sunday. Okay, let me check. Sunday.
Bye, teacher.
Okay.
Teacher, I
Yes.
uh, at Sunday can we move from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Can we move to
6 p.m. to 5 p.m.
instead of 4, because our class in Sunday is 5 p.m., right? So we move this one into 6 p.m. You mean
Uh,
6 p.m.?
I mean that I mean that ah I just talked that the time that we learn in Sunday is 6 p.m.
Yes. So you want us to learn by 6 p.m. on Sunday?
No, I want to ask to change the time from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah,
Yes, 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 sure. We'll be learning by 5 p.m. on Sunday. Is that right?
right.
Okay. So our time, I'll be meeting you on Sunday by 5 p.m. Do you still have other question, Vin?
No.
Okay, so thank you, Vin. I hope to see you on Sunday. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your night and keep safe always.
Bye.
Goodbye.